Your mom forgot where she put her keys for the third time this week. Your dad got confused at the grocery store he's been going to for 20 years. Maybe it's a family member, a close friend, or maybe you're noticing some things about yourself. Dementia, just appear out of nowhere. It can show subtle signs years before an official diagnosis. The problem is that most people mistake these signs for normal aging or everyday stress. You thought it was just age, but what if it's not? When one area is affected, other regions work in overdrive to maintain function. That's why the early signs are so subtle. Your brain is literally fighting to maintain normality. We're talking about someone who's always been a great cook, but suddenly can't follow a recipe they used to make with their eyes closed. Or someone who's always managed the family finances, but now finds themselves confused by the calculator. This is the brain's first cry for help. But this battle leaves clues, and that's exactly what we're going to uncover now. In the next few minutes, we're going to reveal the 7 most ignored signs that may be crying out for help. They may start repeating the same stories over and over in the same conversation, or have trouble finding specific words. It's not just having the word on the tip of their tongue. It's a constant struggle to express themselves. The person may have difficulty judging distances, bumping into objects, having trouble parking the car, or even having trouble pouring water into a glass without spilling it. The brain is losing its ability to process three-dimensional spatial information. In Brazil, more than 1.2 million people live with some form of dementia, and that number doubles every 20 years. Alzheimer's accounts for 60 to 70% of cases, but there are vascular dementia, dementia with Lewy bodies, frontotemporal dementia, and many others. The person may start falling for phone scams, make inappropriate impulsive purchases, or make financial decisions they would never make under normal circumstances. Scammers are often the first to detect early onset dementia. They may start wandering around the house in the early hours of the morning, have visual hallucinations in the afternoon, or have vivid nightmares that leave them restless during the day. This isn't just ordinary depression, it's a specific apathy that affects their ability to get things done. They may sit for hours doing nothing, even when they have free time. What do they all have in common? They start silently attacking specific neural connections before causing the obvious symptoms that everyone is familiar with. When someone says, "Oh, it's just age," they are often missing a crucial window for intervention. But here's what the numbers don't tell you. Behind every diagnosis, there are, on average, 5 to 7 years of signs that went unnoticed. A calm person who becomes irritable, or a confident person who develops paranoia. They may become suspicious of family members, accuse people of stealing, or develop irrational fears they never had before. Get ready, because some of this information may completely change the way you view behaviors that you considered normal. There are 7 silent signs of dementia that 90% of people completely ignore, and today, you'll learn every single one of them. Stay until the end, because sign number 7 will shock you. And it could be happening to someone you love right now. If you've made it this far, you probably know someone who is experiencing strange behavioral changes. But here's the truth that few people talk about. The sooner we identify these signs, the greater the chances of slowing the progression of the disease and maintaining quality of life. Before we dive into the signs, you need to understand an alarming statistic. Every 3 seconds, someone in the world develops dementia. Dementia isn't a single disease. It is an umbrella term that encompasses over 100 different conditions that affect the brain. Your brain has an incredible ability to compensate. SIGN1. Difficulty with complex family tasks. We're not talking about forgetting where you put your keys. SIGN2. Subtle changes in language. Pay attention. The person starts using vague words like "that thing," or "you know what I mean," much more frequently. SIGN3. Loss of initiative and motivation. That person who is always active, social, and engaged suddenly stops doing the things they used to love. SIGN4. Difficulties with spatial perception. This goes beyond getting lost in traffic. Sign 5. Changes in mood and personality. These aren't just bad days. We're talking about persistent changes in personality. SIGN6. Problems with financial judgments. This is devastating and often goes unnoticed until it is too late. SIGN7. Sleep changes and nighttime restlessness. Here is the sign that most often catches families by surprise. The person develops a completely different sleep pattern. According to Dr. Maria Helena, a neurologist specializing in dementia at U, the biggest mistake we see is that families normalize significant behavioral changes. Dr. Ricardo Santos, a geriatrician at Hospital das Clínicas, explains. Identifying early dementia can add years of quality of life. We have medications and therapies that, although they do not cure, can significantly slow the progression of the disease. Recent studies from the University of Cambridge show that people who receive early intervention maintain independence for 2 to 3 years longer than those diagnosed at later stages. This means that millions of people are living without adequate support simply because the early signs were ignored. Lead researcher Dr. Sarah Johnson points out, the difference is not just in the medication. It's called the clock test, and it takes less than 2 minutes. Neurologists around the world use this technique because it assesses multiple brain functions simultaneously. But in the opportunity to make lifestyle adjustments, implement coping strategies, and prepare the family for what lies ahead. Data from the World Health Organization reveals that 75% of dementia cases are never formally diagnosed. Why? Because uncertainty is often worse than the known reality. They may feel frustrated, confused, or even depressed. An early diagnosis offers explanations, removes blame, and opens the door to coping strategies. When you know what you're facing, you can prepare, seek resources, and find supportive communities. But here is something that will surprise you. There is a simple test you can do at home right now that can reveal early signs of dementia. Take a sheet of paper and ask the person to draw a clock that says 11:10. They can choose treatments, participate in clinical trials, make lifestyle changes that can slow progression, and most importantly, they can live fully in the years ahead. When you recognize the signs early, you buy time. If you've recognized any of these signs in someone close to you, don't wait. Schedule an appointment with a neurologist or geriatrician. People with dementia can live years of quality, dignity, and joy. The key is preparation, support, and appropriate intervention. Do you and Take It just age for an answer? You now know it could be much more than that. Time to talk about wants and preferences while the person can still clearly express their wishes. Time to make practical adjustments to the home, to finances, to relationships. If you found this content helpful, please like it so more people can find it. And if you have personal experience with dementia, whether as a caregiver, family member, or professional, share it in the comments. Your story could help others who are going through the same thing. It sounds simple, but this test assesses executive function, working memory, spatial perception, and fine motor skills. Next week, we will talk about 5 mental exercises that can delay dementia. You won't want to miss it, and ask the person to repeat them immediately. Then talk about other topics for 5 minutes and ask the person to remember the 3 words. Consistent difficulty with this test may indicate short-term memory problems. If the clock is significantly distorted, with numbers positioned incorrectly, or hands that are incorrect, this could be a warning sign. Another fascinating test is the 3-word test. Say 3 unrelated words, but be careful. These tests are not definitive they are merely screening tools that may indicate the need for professional medical evaluation. Identifying early dementia is not just about the person affected, it's about the entire support network. Families who receive early diagnosis report significantly lower levels of stress and anxiety. There is also the psychological benefit of validation. Many people in the early stages of dementia know something is wrong but cannot explain what it is. For the affected person themselves, knowing early allows them to actively participate in decisions about their future. If you've made it this far, you already know more about early dementia than 90% of people. But knowledge without action is useless. Remember, dementia is not a death sentence. It is a condition that can be managed, especially when identified early. Share this video with people you love. It could be the information that saves years of quality life for someone special. Subscribe to the channel and activate the bell to receive more content about brain health and longevity. Until next time, take good care of your mind and the people you love.